Guys, welcome back to Sailing Seahawk. It's been ages since I put a video out. Must be nearly a month, I think, since the last video. Just been really busy. I've been busy getting stuff done around the house. Oscar was on school holidays for a couple of weeks, 10 days of which we went out to Great Barrier, which is amazing, and you'll see that coming up. But I just haven't been getting around to doing editing. I'm pretty far behind, but I'm getting it done now, as you can see in the background. And yeah, thanks for sticking with me. Here we go. Enjoy the episode. Well, Deep Cove had really put it on for us overnight. We woke up to a perfect morning, still, nobody around. I love being alone in nature. There's something about isolation, solitude in nature that just really does it for me. We had really good breakfast, omelette on toast, coffee, hot chocolate, and then it was time to get old mate to the beach for a run around and some breakfast. After that, when we got back, we weighed anchor and headed from Deep Cove round to Pigeon Bay. Pigeon Bay is just between Wanganui Island and Motutapere. We anchored up there and I jumped on the tender and headed out for a fish. There's a nice little deep channel, 17 meters or so, between Wanganui and Motutapere. This is my tender. My tender just was leaking so much. When I first got the yacht, I was too casual and I'd drag it over all sorts of shit, and I learned my lesson because it got all sorts of holes, and I constantly have to pump it up. I was just using soft baits. I headed over to a reef near the edge of Wanganui Island, and I'd just drift back and forth across the channel to Motutapere, fire up the motor, head back, and I had a bit of luck. Caught some lunch, caught some dinner. You'll see.
Hold my hand.
Oh,
Don't let go.
kidding me.
I understand. I know it hurts. It wasn't fair. It's over now, so don't despair.
Go, buddy.
The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. Before the blue skies fade to grey,
Hey, my
we're
friends, is
gonna
lunch.
be okay.
Oh, there we go, bye.
The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. Before the blue skies fade to grey, we're gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. Before the blue skies fade to grey, we're gonna be okay.
After lunch, Ren, Mac and I headed into the beach and just spent the whole afternoon just lounging about, throwing sticks, sunbathing. We stayed there until sunset. We walked up the hill and watched the sun go down before heading back to the boat and cooking up some curry for dinner actually that night. But this is my crazy dog digging two-handed. Enjoy. trying to get footage, being creative. Wednesday morning, we've just weighed anchor. After dropping Ren back to the beach at Long Bay, Mac and I said our goodbyes and shot back to Seahawk, where we hauled anchor, hoisted the sails, and headed on our way back to Auckland. The wind wasn't doing much, we were flying along at a whopping 3 knots, but we were in no rush, so turned off the motor, sat back, and enjoyed the ride. One thing I have found difficult in all my 4 days of solo sailing experience with no autopilot is making a hot drink. Actually anything that involves me going below. The easiest way around this for me at the moment is to just hove to. To hove to, you simply do a slow tack without releasing the jib sheet. Allow the jib to backfill and then turn the wheel back as if to tack back the way you were going originally, only don't turn too far. Find a balance point where the two sails sort of cancel each other out and lock the helm. The mainsail will try to drive the boat in the direction of the rudder, but the jib, which is backfilled, will try and blow the bow back in the opposite direction. You'll still be moving at a knot or so, but going nowhere fast, and you can pop downstairs and do whatever you need to do. After my coffee, the wind picked up and we had a fun sail back to Waiheke. I did, however, forget to lock off the outboard on the tender, so it was like flicking out to the side and water was flying into it and it was filling up. So at one point I had to haul it in and kind of try and turn it sideways while we were underway and pull the bung out, and then she was all good. We spent the night at Omiha on the southern side of Waiheke Island. I cooked up the leftover snapper and curry from the day before and sat down to enjoy a movie and a quiet night.
What's this, man? Want some dinner? Want some dinner?
The goods will be delivered by this nation, whose Navy believes in the tradition of damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead.
To go back to Auckland and try and berth this bad boy off in 10 to 12 knots. So wish me luck. I've just been getting a few things ready. I'm not quite finished. I've got my, I've just put my fenders out. I'll pull them in while I'm underway, but I'm just trying to get them in roughly the right position. It's going to be really hard for me to get off the helm at any point, so I need everything ready. So yeah, just about ready to go. Fire up the engine, get Mackie locked down, and head home. Sails are up. Running wing on wing with the whisker. Not much wind. It's 10 knots. We're doing 4 at the moment. Just cruising. Very slow. But that's all good. Not in a rush. I'm actually quite happy that the wind's not stronger. Hopefully it's nice and sheltered in the marina. I'm stressing a bit about trying to get this fucking beast in by myself. If there's no wind it'll be fine, but I think there's going to be a breeze and I don't know, it's always exciting, so we'll see. My journey was coming to an end. Minutes away from my slip, yet the most daunting part so far was still to come. The wind was only 8 knots or so, and I'd already made the decision that I was going to take her in stern to. The wind was from the north, and my berth points directly south. I thought at the time that this would work in my favour. On my first attempt, I didn't go forward far enough to allow for my prop wash. This takes the stern of my boat to port before I have enough water moving over the rudder to steer. It's always harder when people are watching, and there were a couple ferry employees in the cockpit of the ferry off my starboard bow I was convinced were analysing my every move. They were probably just having a coffee, but on my second attempt, it didn't go much better. I had a bit more space, but still managed to stuff it up. The third time round, I gave myself more space than you could ever need. I made it round the corner and started backing down the aisle. I backed down because of my prop wash. It puts my berth on my port side, which really helps in the final moments when I'm trying to back her in around the corner into my berth. What I think was happening the whole time is because I'm nervous and I don't really want to go too fast in the marina, each time I tried to go down the aisle, well, I would turn and it would put me side onto the wind. The wind would then push on my bow and override my steering and kind of make me track off course. So eventually on the third run the same thing happened. The wind pushed my bow to starboard and I started tracking off course. This put me in a really shitty position where I had to just let the boat do what it wanted to do and turn around in the middle of the aisle. Once I was facing forward, everything went fine. My neighbours came out to grab lines and Seahawk, Mac and I were home safe before long. I now have a new love for solo sailing. Thanks everyone for watching Sailing Seahawk. To stay current with where I'm at and what I'm up to, follow us on Instagram, sailingseahawk.ii. Remember to like and subscribe, and sharing is caring. If any of your friends might be into this, maybe pop them a link because it all really helps. Next step, I have another crack at heading to Great Barrier Island, so be sure to tune in. Take care guys, thanks again, we'll see you out there.